What is going on, everybody? It is your girl Marquita with Team TRM coming at you with another video. Finally. I've been gone for quite a bit of time, and you probably have noticed some of the changes on my actual channel. I've taken a lot of videos down just because I wasn't available to do any videos, and I really wanted to catch up with you finally to let you know exactly what's been going on, where I've been, and really what my plans are going forward for 2021 and hopefully beyond. So let's start off first with 2020. So 2020 financially, especially the last quarter of 2020, financially online was one of the best years that I've had since starting. A few years ago, if you've been a subscriber of mine for quite a bit of time, a few years ago, I genuinely just had a goal to make $25,000 a year online because I wanted that to supplement my income, for me to be able to do, other things, and for me not to be stressed out at work. And that was going to catapult me into doing a lot of other things like leaving my job, etc. And now looking back, now that 2020 is over, looking back, I can see that $25,000 goal was really cutting myself short. Online income can be so much more, and it's not as difficult as people purport it to be or report it to be. And so, that was really exciting. Planning is really exciting to be able to grow a bit further, to see where I can take this responsibly. Okay, I still want to be responsible with it. Now, even though I had an amazing last quarter of 2020, when it comes to the financial situation, personally though, I actually had a lot of challenges personally, in my personal life. So the first thing to come along with that personally is COVID. Okay, so COVID has been a very big topic for the last year, and it actually struck home for me because I had a family member get very sick with COVID, like super sick with COVID, kept testing positive, even though they were quarantining, and things like that. And I also had a very close family member pass away, and it was a complete shock. And the way that it happened is still a shock as well. Nobody expected it, and then there were some turn of events that some revelations that were made after the death that really all of it just took a toll on me. And I will say now I am at peace with it. I'm just happy to have had that person in my life, and I'm learning to live with it. But I will say that it really hit me hard. And because of these situations, along with a host of other things, I don't even want to keep going and giving you guys all of my problems that I had at the end of the year and even going into 2021. But because of that, I was completely offline as far as like my equipment goes. I packed up, I left, I went back to my hometown, and I've been gone for a very long time. And so of course that caused my business to be stagnant. I couldn't update you guys as much as I wanted to, and there were other focuses that I had at the time. But now I'm back, and even though I had a good financial year, I also took some very big hits, what I consider big hits, at the end of the year and going into 2021. It's like, even though I was super diversified, and I still am very diversified, it's like these programs were dropping like flies. I've never seen anything like it, and I've been in this industry for a long time. I mean, just back to back. It's almost like they were each relying on each other. It's kind of weird. So being diversified is good, but when platforms are actually kind of shutting down and going away, which we expect in this industry, we know that sometimes with these programs you just never know. In crypto, you never know an opportunity. So save. But it was pretty much a big shock. So I want to go through some of these programs. Some of them I promoted on my channel, some of them I did not. I just want to kind of share with you. I'm not going to share everything that happened, but I want to share with you just a couple of them so we can figure out and you can see exactly what took place. Since I haven't made a video for you in a while, this one is probably going to be a bit longer. So grab a snack, get something to drink, do what you need to do, watch it in chunks, whatever. But so let's go ahead and talk about this one. Was Tron Chain. Now with Tron Chain, I never actually promoted it on my channel, and it's because I was actually trying a multi-account strategy. There was one popular one going around, like the 10x strategy. I was doing something completely different, and I was actually, loving the way that it was progressing. And as I started to build my accounts faster and faster, the program actually drained. So Tron Chain is basically just a Dapp where you put Tron in and they return 3x or 310% of the Tron. They drip feed that over to you at the percentage of 1% a day. So whatever you put in, you're going to get dripped out 1% a day. It also had an affiliate plan here as well. Went from like $25 million in Tron down to zero essentially in about a week. So again, I have several accounts here, but this one is 16,000 Tron. It paid me 11,616 Tron. So really I lost about 4,214 Tron. Now the great thing about the CEO is he moved over to a new company called Finalmente Global, and there is a function in that new contract that actually pays out a percentage to this contract to help those who may have lost funds here. I would say that I probably lost about $2,500 at the price of Tron, which was probably about 0.028 cents. So I lost about $2,500 at that price point. It's now worth a lot more because Tron is on the uprise, and it can probably go to its all-time high, if not higher. We're in a bull run right now, so things are just skyrocketing. So the insurance, anytime someone withdraws from the new Finalmente Global website, 10% of their fee or 10% of their withdrawal actually goes into the insurance balance. Now, if you can notice, this insurance balance is at zero. It's always at zero, so I don't even try to claim my refund here. Now, originally, because it's just going to burn Tron, I'm not going to actually get anything for it. It stays at zero. So you can see this is the total reward of all time right here that has been paid, and the members. Now, originally what I was thinking is once this gets to a certain number, let's say 250 million Tron, I was thinking that the competition would be lower and it would be easier to claim here. Maybe I can kind of collect some of those rewards that I missed out on this account and the other accounts that I have. But a strange thing that I noticed is this is being drip fed 170 Tron, or basically 1% a day, to me based off of my original deposit. However, the strange thing here, and maybe someone can comment below if you know what's going on, is I thought that this number here, this daily 1%, this Tron, was going to be capped at the amount that's left to pay out, so 4,214 Tron. But this is way more, so there's like a huge discrepancy. So originally I thought I was going to be able to collect on this, once everybody started to get more and more of their Tron, but it looks like they're still getting paid 1% a day. So I don't know if they're going to be able to collect, if it's going to go up just to the full 16,000 or if it's going to be 3x. So if that's a glitch or if I'm just misunderstanding that, let me know below. But because of that, I'm like, okay, well, I'm probably never going to see the return out of here. And again, this is not my only account. I have several different accounts, and some of them are very, very new, so they have a lot of Tron to collect. Okay, so I'm just going to talk about my initial investment. I don't know how much Tron it was. I would have to go through all of my accounts and do the numbers, which I didn't do. But the important part is $2,500 initially is gone, okay, out of this opportunity, and I lost that. I think I was in Tron Chain for maybe about 3 weeks, and I was withdrawing every single day. But again, I was following that multi-account strategy, which was really speeding up my my rewards. And, the owner said, hey, maybe that's a part of the problem. But again, I wasn't stacking accounts the way everybody else was doing and draining the contract. That's not what I was doing. So that's that with this. The next one was really, really big, which was Finalmente Global. Okay, so everybody knows, if you've been following my channel, that I was putting up a weekly update with regard to Finalmente Global. This was an advertising company, and they actually kind of just disappeared within the span of like a day. It was so crazy. So we haven't heard anything from Finalmente Global since about January, I believe, January 21st, 2020. And the owner basically came in and said, hey, we were trying to work everything out, but some people have gone to liquidators and now we can't do anything for you. And now the site is offline. There isn't even an update page. So the CEO is gone. Now, what happened to Finalmente Global? So the owner says, hey, my family was threatened. There was some rumor going on about his family being threatened, and someone, basically saying you need to pay us, 1,000 Bitcoin or whatever the case may be. What I think really happened, that could be the case, I don't know. But one of the biggest clients for Finalmente Global was Mirror Trading International. And so they were advertising heavily with Finalmente Global. Now, I didn't know that Mirror Trading International was paying for everyone's, interest every single week, every single month, whatever the case may be. Okay, because the owner constantly said, hey, no, they're not our only client. We have other advertising sites. We're able to buy advertising, sell it for cheaper, get this taken care of. So I was thinking they had more than one client. Now, the business model was completely unique, completely sustainable. Advertising is a big business. You have a lot of people, including me, that have put in $1 and gotten $6, $7, $8 out in return. And I can typically do that. If I had a huge advertising budget, of course, I would have to spread it out more. But I know typically if I prepare a campaign and I put it out there, I'm going to get some form of return. Okay, so they were doing that, but again, they were heavily relied on one specific client, which I don't understand. But again, this one really hurt because it was working all the way up until, I think I got a withdrawal the day before or a few hours before that email went out. So I was very, very confused. I'm like, what is going on? So they paid me out. I received my Bitcoin, and I was making almost $1,000 a week. I received my Bitcoin. And then within a few hours, came home, to a message, got a message, came home, seen the email, and I was like, what is going on? And so even though I was in profit with this opportunity because I was withdrawing every single week, I wasn't compounding. I did no compounding. So every single week I was just withdrawing the Bitcoin that I was earning, and it was getting paid to me within 24 hours. And I made a profit there. But at the price that the Finalmente site went down, Bitcoin, I forget what it was worth specifically, but my Bitcoin that was still left in this opportunity was over 13,000. It's even way beyond that now that Bitcoin has skyrocketed, and we're looking at almost 60K. So right then and there, that was a huge hit for me. I mean, $13,000 is not small change. $16,000 is not small change. $2,500 is not small change to me. I value every single dollar that I have. So that was another hit. The next one is Biddles, right? So Biddles is an opportunity that actually focused on their in-house currency called BTL tokens or Biddles tokens. And this, I wasn't interested in until they actually introduced what's called XPACs, which was able to give you a return depending on how much you deposited into their system. And they stated that they, did arbitrage trading, and they were able to pay you a return. Now, it was working very, very smoothly at first, but now there are no withdrawals coming out of this opportunity. As far as I know, some people were saying that they're getting paid. I have not gotten paid since January. I have, thousands of dollars locked in this opportunity. I have a Bitcoin withdrawal or a USDT withdrawal that's still processing right now, not getting paid that at all. And I can't even say that they're paying leaders because my upline probably has the biggest team in this opportunity, and I don't even think he's getting paid. The communication has completely stopped with this opportunity. We haven't had a CEO webinar in literally months. And they've been doing some shady stuff, really. So the first thing is, they have an internal exchange. They're supposed to be launching an external exchange. I wouldn't trust it at all, because number one, and this is what I was saying to my upline, who's very popular with promoting this program. I said, hey, you don't feel some type of way that they are doing this and you're still promoting. So number one is they control the price of all of the tokens in their exchange. So when you were getting paid, or when we were getting paid our withdrawals, it's in US dollars. So we would have to convert that into another cryptocurrency of our choice. The problem is, number one, is they charge a fee to convert. So it can be anywhere from 1 to, I've seen up to 5% to convert to the cryptocurrency of your. I used to have USD Tether up there. They took that away because that, you're going to have to get a 1-for-1 value, right? You can't fluff the numbers on USDT Tether. So they would take that option away. And then they would give you options for Bitcoin, Ethereum, they have Waves, they have all different types of currencies in there. But they would inflate the balance so much that when you converted, let's say your $100 worth of US dollar into Bitcoin, you were getting like $30 after that. Because they inflated the price of Bitcoin so much. So they're like, we pay you less because our Bitcoin is worth, at the time, I don't even know. I asked my sponsor, I'm like, or not my sponsor, I asked I'm like, hey, what's going to happen? Are they going to inflate, Bitcoin up to $100,000? Like, it just didn't make any sense. And he was saying, hey, they're going to be working on that. So I kind of, held out. We waited for USDT. Then they took that away once everybody got hip to that. And it's a nightmare. The second thing is, they shut down their Telegram group from commenting. So you can't comment anything in their Telegram group. The third thing is they went into certain people's accounts and they took away their tokens that they purchased and that they were putting into the system with no explanation. No email went out. There was no notes in the back office, which they usually put up. No note in the back office. The CEO hasn't spoken to anyone, and he's actually blocked one of the biggest, and the face of the opportunity, which I was uncomfortable with as well. Asked my upline, I'm like, why aren't certain things being disclosed to people? And the response was, oh, you have to do your research. I study this opportunity. I do this, I do that. And I respect my upline. He's always answered my questions. But to me, it didn't make sense. How can you, he's like, you have to study like you're in school. How can you study when there's no information out there? Like, are you supposed to just create the information yourself? It should be readily available on the website. So I didn't like that. Now, supposedly Biddles is still coming out with their own external exchange. They've changed the date on that several different times. Again, I think this is done, even though they're still collecting money. You can still make deposits in here. I would not make any more deposits in this opportunity. So I suspect that even their external exchange is going to be highly centralized. Why would anyone trust a platform that is not paying its individuals and that is inflating their cryptocurrency prices? What's going to happen on the exchange? So that's the point that I made. But again, this is done for me. Thousands of dollars locked in here as well that I can't get out. So that's that. The next one is We Share Abundance. So We Share Abundance, I got started with quite a bit of time ago as their top level member, which is $100 worth of WISA tokens. That's their internal token. And I was really excited about this opportunity and the possibility to have every single person be able to earn money here super, super easily. Now, this company purports that it's in beta, but they were going ahead and paying out members in their WISA token, which is not a problem. Mathematically, the tokens will always be available. This has since turned into a Bitcoin program, which I didn't agree to sign up for, okay? Because, that means that the token, the process of this program is completely different, okay? So you're still logging in, you're still able to get WISA returned to you at the end of the month. But the problem is you aren't withdrawing your Visa anymore and putting it on the exchange for sale. You are now withdrawing your Visa in Bitcoin, which kind of defeats the purpose, right? You're withdrawing that in Bitcoin, and some of you are like, well, I prefer Bitcoin. I don't have to go on the market and sell. But the problem with that is when you sell your Visa, when you request a withdrawal in here to, have an equal portion of Visa, you're doing it against what they call the market value. So basically what happens is there is a guaranteed minimum value in We Share Abundance, which means that regardless of what it's being traded at on the exchange, like we use Waves Exchange, you're guaranteed a certain value. But when you're selling your Visa, you're doing it against the actual market value, so the traded value of the Visa token. That can be easily manipulated. We've seen, supposedly we've seen people, selling their tokens at a low price, but even the owner himself, has manipulated that price, whether it was by accident or whatever. I'm not here to talk about the politics, but that price is easily manipulated, right? So now you're getting Bitcoin. Now that means that he has to wait to sell your tokens on the market, which you could have done yourself, but he wants to control the price, which I can kind of understand and I don't at the same time. So he's going to sell your Visa tokens on the market. Okay, now he has nest egg offers where he's trying to, it's basically trying to collect money to pay out the people that he needs to pay out. And because people are losing interest in this, especially if you're not paying withdrawals. If people were getting paid, I think this will grow, but because of the centralization, because only selective people are getting paid, and they're getting paid very, very small amounts, like I think $10 to $15 at this point. They say you can request your withdrawal for as much as you'd like, but it's unlikely that you're going to get that paid, okay, just bluntly, all right? So what people are doing is trying to scratch anything they can out of the opportunity. So it's like you have to compete with people who are willing to just say, oh, I just want something out of the program, so I'm going to request $5 worth of Visa or $10 worth of Visa. Those people are going to get paid their Bitcoin faster than you, and then by the end of the month, there's no more Bitcoin to pay. Okay, so the owner is saying he's like a Robin Hood, so he's like, I'm going to pay the people who need it the most. I don't agree with that philosophy because you have no idea who needs it the most. It's kind of like, there is a such thing as sexism. There's a such thing as racism. I feel like, just because you live in a certain country doesn't mean that you're extremely well off. I don't even know what you would call that. But there are people in the Western Hemisphere that are also struggling. You know what I mean? So I don't agree with how he decides who needs it most, quote unquote, when you don't know the living situation of every single person in your opportunity. Okay, so I don't agree with that. I think you should just go ahead and pay in, first out. Simple as that. But again, I don't own the program. So that's what the issue is. I haven't requested a withdrawal literally since October. And that was just to basically hopefully help other people get some withdrawals. But I would say this, if you believe in the program, awesome. I'm still logging in every single day, and hopefully, some things turn around. If you believe in the program, awesome. You can go ahead and participate in, what he has. If you want to purchase the nest egg offer, you can. He has another matrix program that he mentioned. But my question is, if you can't even pay Visa out right now, how are you going to start a matrix program to pay Visa? That it just doesn't make sense. Or are you going to start a Bitcoin program? Because that's what this has become. So I really don't rock with We Share Abundance like that anymore. I can't promote it. Now, this had an advertising aspect to it. So if I was still able to advertise and do things like that, I would give it a higher rating. But I haven't even been able to send a message in the back office because the message system is down. So it's like, okay, it's not even an advertising platform anymore. You know what I mean? There's better options out there. And I know this is beta, and he likes to compare it to another, cult-like following opportunity that has been in, beta launch or whatever for 3 years. And he's comparing it to that opportunity like, hey, they don't even pay out anyone. And I think that's a bad comparison. I'm not saying anything about that other opportunity, but it just kind of baffles my mind. It shows that manipulation is very, very real. Okay, if you have that skill, if you know how to talk, if you know how to speak to the psychology of people, you can manipulate them into believing anything that you would like. And that's a real skill set. So, the owner comparing this opportunity to that opportunity, I don't like, number one. Number two is you can't backtrack. Your thing was you were competing with another advertising platform. You were on par with that. And you were like, hey, we're going to be, we have a superior program. We have, we're not going to be selling our tokens for low. Our tokens are going to be valued XYZ. But the difference between that other advertising platform and We Share Abundance is, number one, we have a owner who just said, hey, let's go ahead and put it on the free market. And he's doing what's necessary to build value in that token, right? So, right now, we don't even have a working messaging system. So I got a little frustrated with We Share Abundance because I have an organization here and I value the people in my organization. I can't even send them an email. I don't have access to their emails unless I go completely digging through the message center to do that. And I can't even send them an email to ask them to opt into an email so I can communicate with them because the message center is down. So, but he's able to email the entire database, right? It's like, come on. And he can get messages out through the message center. It's just really, really weird to me. But that's We Share Abundance. And so many other platforms have really just come and gone. I know there was another big platform that supposedly had a hack, and everybody lost thousands of dollars in that opportunity because they were holding crypto in that opportunity. And we just had platform after platform after platform since my last video. It's unreal. Since starting in this opportunity, or starting in this industry rather, I haven't seen the amount of programs drop like flies. So being diversified, if you were in any of those platforms, being diversified really meant nothing because everything actually went down. And maybe that was selection, right? And that was just maybe bad luck. So whatever the case may be. So what have I been doing? What have I been focusing on? So for me, because I wasn't making videos and stuff like that and doing everything that I needed to do at that point to kind of heal, I actually started focusing more on the DeFi niche. So when I say that, I just mean, taking a look at cryptocurrencies, altcoins, buying them low, selling them high, or even holding for a little bit longer. Sometimes I do maybe a 24-hour buy. Sometimes I do a longer hold, whatever the case may be. And I've actually made some great income. And a part of that is because, we're in a bull run. So money is just flying everywhere right now. We almost have a $60,000 Bitcoin. We have a $1,900 Ethereum price. And some other cryptos have actually started to rise in value as well. So in a bull market, it's very, very easy, or it's easier, I should say, to make money. So, a couple of the picks, I'm not a technical person. I don't, look at tokenomics and I don't look at all of that. I just look at where the money is going, okay? And I follow that trend and I set targets for myself. I set goals for myself. So, a few of the tokens that I got involved with that have caused me or allowed me to make even more money is FEG. So FEG was on the Ethereum network. So I got into FEG and I actually 7x'd my income there. Shouts out to the YouTube channel Crypto Talk for that. I also got into what's popular right now. It's called the Binance Smart Chain, which is a lot cheaper than Ethereum, and a lot of money is actually being moved over into that network. So one of the main tokens that I got involved with on the Binance Smart Chain is Pancake. So actually, about 4x'd on Pancake right now. And, shouts out to Crypto Talk for that as well. He has a great explanation video on Binance Smart Chain and how to get started. And shouts out to Ray over at the Bartertown Conglomerate as well. He does a lot to kind of explain things to you as well. To talk about some information there, and he has a great community. A lot of the money that I'm going to be talking about that I made in DeFi literally comes from just sitting in his chat, right? So sitting in his Telegram, and a lot of the things that I hear have been, from picks that they have. So really big shout out to Bartertown Conglomerate. Follow him on YouTube as well. Another one is G Farm. So I originally heard of G Farm through Stunna Breezy, so I'm sure if you're in this niche, you probably heard of Stunna Breezy. He's a very funny guy, makes me laugh all the time. So G Farm, I 3x'd on that, and I'm still earning tokens every single day from G Farm, which are worth they can be worth anywhere from $80 to $100. So I'm earning that. The problem with Ethereum is the gas prices are so high, so it doesn't make sense for me to claim until I have at least like 7 tokens. Because it costs like $50 to get in, or $70 to get in, $70 to get out, and then you have to sell. It's just ridiculous. So it could be very, very expensive. Another one was Polkadot Bridge, and I heard about that through Guru James and the Bartertown conglomerate with Ray. I made a 7x on that. So 7x, and I think I held the token for not even, probably a month or so. I held the token. And it was just crazy. Another one was Curry. I 3x'd on Curry. Shouts out to Bartertown conglomerate for that. Y Panda, I did a 4x on that. Bartertown conglomerate again. Polkadot, I did a 3x. I'm still holding Polkadot because I think it has a lot more room to grow. And I'm holding some of these tokens as well. 3x thanks to Guru James over in Bartertown conglomerate. And the list just goes on and on and on. Okay, so but the problem, like I mentioned with that, even though the returns are amazing, it can be even unreal. Some of these tokens that I got involved with, I've done those X's within a couple of hours. Okay, so some of the fastest money that I've ever made. And even though that's beautiful, it takes, number one, it takes picking the right token, because not everyone is going to win. I've lost a little in this. Thank God that I have like some winners, like a lot, huge winners, but I've lost a little bit in this. And I've seen other people who've lost a ton. Okay, so it just depends on your entry. It depends on your exit. A lot of that has to do with, taking a look at the community, seeing what they're talking about. You better be ready to sell. You better be ready to buy. And not a lot of people can be locked to their computer every single day. Some of us have 9-to-5 jobs. And so we can't go in and buy and sell when we need to. And with Binance Smart Chain, it's a little bit of a learning curve as well. So you have to figure out how to get on the Binance Smart Chain. So a lot of people don't have the time to do that. So it can really, really, be a bit cumbersome for a lot of different people. And the tokens are completely volatile. So again, they can be here today. It can be up, 1 second and then completely down the next second. It's like penny stocks, So you have to be very, very careful. And I realized that, my goal here is to help as many people earn money as possible. Now, I'm not Mother Teresa, of course, but my goal is to help as many people earn and to explain things to people in a way that they understand. And hopefully, it can be mutually beneficial for both you and I. And I realized that there are already a lot of different channels out there that talk about this information, that are the experts in this information that you can follow. But I like ease of use. I like things that a lot of people are going to be able to do and to replicate. And I can't replicate this for you. I can only give you certain type of tips on what I'm doing, but I can't replicate the results for you. So if I make a 7x, I can't say that you're going to make this, you made a 7x just because you took the token that I did, because you're going to have a different entry. You're going to have a different exit. It's going to be impossible for me to help you replicate that information. So I really just miss getting involved with just passive platforms, because it's so much easier. It's so much easier to duplicate, and people understand that more. I've never been, my channel is not a crypto channel. It's not called, I don't have crypto anywhere in the name of my channel. Okay, it just happened that that's where the money trend is, and that's where, we can make money at this point. But I've never been a crypto channel. I'm all about residual income and mastering that residual income, because we have residual bills. So what I want to do is get back into just a couple of passive programs, not a lot, but a couple of different passive programs that will allow people to earn some income. But my focus is going to be a bit different. So moving forward, I'm going to be focusing on high risk for myself. So I'll still be doing the DeFi programs or those programs that offer a little bit of a higher return, but they're extremely risky. I don't always promote those programs on my channel for a very, very good reason, right? Because I don't want people losing their shirts. It's not what I'm here for. I'm not all about a commission. If I was, you would see me pumping just everything that comes about, okay? I get offered things in my email all the time. People want me to promote this. There are a lot of different YouTube channels that they will promote because they're getting paid, or they have some deeper inside, information on when programs are going to rug and do all of that, okay? So I don't do that. I almost ignore every single, developer, whoever who hits me up on my YouTube channel to get me to plug it, because the crap looks scammy. And I don't want to willingly go into a scam just because I can make, some commissions. I could probably be a very, very wealthy woman if I really decided to do a lot of the crazy things that some of these YouTubers do. But I don't. So, what I'm going to do is I'll have high risk as a very small portfolio, and I probably won't share that information with you. Again, if you're looking for DeFi tokens, Bartertown Conglomerate, Crypto Talk, Stunna Breezy, Staker Maker, Jamie actually shares with you a little bit of what he's doing as well. So you want to follow those channels for more of the crypto analysis. Also Crypto Success. You want to follow those channels. They give you tokens and things like that if you want to take that type of risk. But for me, I'm going to be focusing on medium risk. Now, medium risk is everything else, okay? There is no low risk program. If you want low risk, you're going to have to keep your money in the bank. And even then, you are probably, if you're keeping more than $250,000 right now in the bank, then you are at risk as well. But you may want to keep your money in the bank. Medium risk is everything else, right? But when I say medium risk, they may pay like a lower interest rate than the higher risk program. So you may look at it and get spoiled and say, hey, well, I can make, 7x over here in 24 hours. I prefer to do that. And that's your strategy. That's completely fine. But for me, I'm going to focus on platforms that have focuses on outside revenue. I don't want to do any of these, drip fed programs, any of these dApps like, Tron Chain, where they take your deposit in whatever cryptocurrency and pay you out 1%, dripping you your own money, and they're relying on more people to come in, and you hope that more people come in so you can bleed their accounts dry to get your 3x. That is no longer attractive to me. Or I'm not interested in programs that take your original cryptocurrency and then give you some shitty cryptocurrency that the price can tank. Like, for instance, Bankroll Flow, it was getting a lot of traction. I joined Bankroll Flow back in December, and I think when I got in, it was like 17 Banker X for one. It was basically 17 to 1. And so I put $500 in there, and literally within like 48 hours, my $500 dropped to like $200 and something dollars. And then the price has even tanked even further. Okay. So, I don't want to get involved in programs like that. There are a lot of different dApps coming out that are both, like Tron Chain, like Bankroll Flow, where, you can get in, you can get that drip feed and, hope to get your ROI. If you're a passive member, it's a slower way to get a return, and it's going to take longer for you to get your return because your deposit is burned in those type of opportunities, meaning that once you put your money in, the only way to get it out is to get it out in the daily interest payments. So sometimes that's okay, if you believe in the program being around long term, and if your value is going to be the value that it is over time. If you're going to lose value because of like a crazy coin that can be manipulated, then it may not be a good deal. And I also want programs, even though it's not God, I want programs with some form of transparency, CEOs available. I want to be able to see that they do have outside revenue. If a program has been around for years, that's even better. So I'm going to promote a couple of different passive medium risk opportunities to you. One, I'm going to use as my primary deal, like I'm focusing on that opportunity, and I'll share with you what that is in my next video, which will be coming out shortly. But I want to focus on that opportunity. But I have a couple of others that you can take a look into as well. It's just gonna, depend on you whether you're interested in it or not. Again, I'm not a big promoter, but I'm going to be focusing heavily on that opportunity because I believe that it has what I feel is a good deal. And even though it doesn't offer huge returns, those medium risk, it's more sustainable. And people tend to say, hey, I don't want to make XYZ amount percent when I can make 25% over here and another opportunity. Not understanding that as a passive member, you have to figure out what your actual profit is going to be and divide that by the time that these companies have your funds locked in. And you'll find out that you're not getting what you think you're getting. Some of these companies are paying maybe about 15% per month, and you have to wait after 4 months to even start getting that, return on deposit, because you're getting your initial deposit paid out to you first, and you're like, oh, I'm getting paid. Now, those type of opportunities they tend to focus heavily on recruiting because they need new members coming in to pay out the old members. And so affiliate marketers make a killing on that opportunity. So when things are presented that are real, it kind of gets, for lack of a better way to put it, shitted on, because it's like, well, I can make more money over here. And I don't think that the passive investors are very much informed. And shouts out to the affiliate marketers, those people who are promoting, because they're making bank. So it's almost like, hey, well, it's not my fault. You should promote the product or promote the program. So I'm going to be talking more about that. And the last thing is I'm going to be focusing on traffic. So I mentioned about Finalmente Global and how, if you're really good at advertising and you're really good at crafting a message, you can put $1 in and get $5 or $6 out. So I'll be sharing with you my traffic methods. I'll be sharing with you exactly what I'm doing for traffic, but that's going to be where my focus is as well. So really on traffic and promoting my primary medium risk platform, because everything in this opportunity or in this niche is a risk. There is nothing low risk, okay? There is nothing low risk out there. So if anybody tells you, oh, this is low risk, it's not, they're lying, okay? There's nothing low risk out there. But that's it. If you've watched this video for this amount of time, I just want to thank you. Thank you so much for watching it, and I'm happy to be back. I'll see you in my next video where I'll present these opportunities to you just as a high-level overview. I'm not going to do any specific presentations on them, but I will present them as a high-level overview. And then if you're interested, you could take, a spot right then and there. If not, for one of the medium risk platforms specifically, I'll give you a very detailed explanation video. I'll do a presentation on that opportunity as well. But you may want to lock in a spot when I do this next video, just because you'll be higher up and I can place you before I start my advertising. But that's it for me. Again, this is Marquita with Team TRM. I hope you guys had a great year. I hope you have an even better year. And as I always say, I'll see you at the top or not. You decide. Take care.